Hello friends, how's it going? My name is Mo, and today we are going to do something a little bit more spicy. So I've covered both the hunt and the classic, so I might as well cover the games. So basically, if you're watching this in the future, the games is an event that ran between August 1st and August 10th, 2024. This ran during the Summer Olympics of that year, and it was meant to be kind of similar. Unlike the other events, though, this one was teams-based. There were 5 teams led by influencers. There was the Crimson Cats, led by Creek Craft, Lana Ray, and Night Fox. There were the Pink Warriors, led by iBella, Mr. Boo Shoot, and Pink Leaf. There was the Mighty Ninjas, led by Vetronaire Y Noah Engu, Raconitas, and Rovi23. There were the Angry Canaries, led by Bug-oo, Doodoo, Batero, and Yitawak. I don't know what they're doing. Finally, there were the Feet. That team. And it was led by Mi Inu Socks. Okay, Socks for 3. Makes sense. And Project Supreme. The object of the event was to collect as many shines and silvers as possible. Or was it shrines? I've literally seen it phrased both as shrines and shines in games. The lobby once again delivered mostly. I liked all the obbies and the quests that depended on you getting shines in the game, which is similar to the classic. The hunt lobby was hella depressing. I liked the way the events were lined up in the stairs thingy, kind of cool. I also liked that there were different islands and you could fly, but I do wish the islands actually floated higher than the others, based on how well it did, because it said they would. And also, they have a little helper bot again. So I did the event with a few of my friends, and they also rated them in their Google Docs. One of whom is Play, who has rated shit in the past with me. Another is Jinx, who you may know from me murdering them in Phasmophobia constantly. I don't want to flash screenshots of the ratings in the video like I did during the hunt, and I'd also rather not talk about every game individually, so our ratings are going to be in the description. In this review, I'm going to state what was good about the event, what was bad about the event, and then I'll talk about the individual games. After that, I'll talk about merch and, what they got, which, by the way, it's not UGC. The users did not generate the content that was generated by Roblox. It's not UGC. Stop calling it UGC. Anyways, I think the teams were unique. I think it gave people opportunities to unite as a community a bit and, potentially meet new people whose favorite creator is friends with another creator of the same team. I'm not sure if there were any team discords, but if there were, it'd be a good opportunity to make friends. Again, the lobby was good, but I think some of the games were good and pointed me at new games I might play after the event. I also think they improved a lot with the influencers launching the items, and it just being the influencers launching the items, because in the classic, it was much harder to get the items that were made by the star creators, probably because they have actual jobs at Roblox. Another thing I liked a lot is that you could get all the items in only a few hours, and if you wanted to continue and become a sweat, and get as many silvers and shines as you can, that was optional, not required. The boss battle was actually good this time. I'm not sure why they brought 1 by 1 by 1 by 1 back, because he really had nothing to do with the event at all, but maybe it was to make up for the boss fight in the classic being horrible. Maybe it's his revenge. I don't know what his lore is for this. Maybe it'll be explained further in the next event, because there's definitely going to be another event. They're having events like every couple months now. Let's talk about what they did wrong. The teams feel rigged from the start. Creek just hit 10 million subscribers, and I'm pretty sure he's one of the top streamers. That in itself is going to make a lot of people choose his team. Even if it's not because they like Creek, but he's the only one they've heard of, or if they don't like Creek but they presume he's going to have the winning team. Likewise, only the ironic players are going to pick the Feet team because no one really wants to be known as the Feet team. I would also bet that most of the people on Team Feet probably just picked the team and left for the funny. Another thing is just the games in general. If you remember my Hunt video, I was complaining about the sports games having shitty players who just complained and were mean to new players or would use it as an opportunity to kill the newbies over and over. There were only a couple sports games there. So multiply that experience by 10 and you get my experience in these games. You have no idea how often I would join a game, genuinely try it out, and then be told that I suck at the game. Like, no shit, Cheryl. I've never played. And I'm probably not going to play again. Or the game is genuinely so dead that with the massive influx of new players, no one knows what they're doing. The quest balance was also pretty bad. They either took like 5 seconds or hours. Part of the reasons games would take hours is because they would put new players into high-skill games with experienced players who would make the new players' lives hell. As a new player, you could server hop into a smaller lobby, but that wasn't guaranteed to work either, and you either needed friends to play with or alts. You shouldn't have to rely on that. Speaking of relying on things, relying on other players to vote the map you need for silvers and shines, and potentially taking hours longer because the map is a bad map or something is pretty bad. Don't force people to just server hop for a specific map. Also, games that rely on RNG to get what you want is also bad. The odds are just always terrible. And the amount of games with like shine radars you could purchase with Roblox, purchase with Robux was stupid too. Also, can the people in charge of events please stop putting in games with overwhelming graphics? Like, please, I don't need to be just assaulted with color and oversaturation, and it's just so much for me. Anyway, can we please make it easier to recognize where to go with quests and what to do with quests? The amount of games I had to actually check the description or badges for a hint of what I was supposed to do is insane, and admittedly, I used a lot of guides as well. I can understand that a lot of these games wanted you to play as long as possible so they would get premium payouts, but that does not make them immune to criticism, and in fact, it makes them more susceptible to it. You can have a good game where people will have fun and return more in the future, but a lot of these games are not, and the devs know it. Also, why are there so many glitched and broken games? In the Hunt, there was like one broken game, and we got reimbursed for it. Here, there were multiple games that just didn't work. Specifically, Fashion Famous, Moto Rush, and Fishing Simulator. I also want to note that many games were doing their own summer events, so it's possible that they just didn't have the time or the team to do something for the games event that was more than just like shitty quests. I have no idea if these games apply or if they're handpicked and invited to go into the event. Like, I don't know how any of that works. So now let's talk about the different games. Just, little special shout outs. Jinx and I played Fashion Famous together, and we collected all the shines, but they were pretty glitchy, and we both ended up collecting all 5 shines despite that. But then the shines didn't show up in the game's lobby for Jinx, but it did for me. They tried to go back and collect the shines, and it just didn't work. Jinx asked me to quote them on how they feel about the situation, which is, what the fuck is wrong with this stupid-ass game? I think something important to note about Fashion Famous as well is how I rated Jinx 5 stars every time, and it didn't always give them 5 stars. Like, what the hell is wrong with the game? Also, characters would just glitch around so you couldn't see them, which is, that's how it's always been. I've used to play this game when it came out, and I even played the game that came out before it, which was Top Model. And Top Model is no longer updated because it got hacked, and it's just super glitchy now, and it's about the same as Fashion Famous when it comes to glitchiness, and you'd think the devs would have updated between 2015 and 2024, but nah. Blade Ball always seems to be in the events, and while I like the game, the quests always take a while, and while I needed to be with friends to complete most of them, it was annoying. Moto Rush just doesn't work. I walked into a shine and it gave me 3, and then I randomly blew up during the track, I was just racing and I just exploded. And the tasks are just impossible. Arsenal always is in events, and it always delivers. I wish the final challenge was easier with with one person to do it. But it was a great experience. I liked the vibes, I hope it's in every event after this too, and I'm excited to see what the devs do next. Horse Race Simulator. Other than it being visually overstimulating and just an AFK hell game, I think one thing truly sticks out about this game. And it's actually genuinely disturbing. If you race in the game and you lose, your character beats your horse while it's laying down on the podium. It's not like a little cheeky, haha, funny moment. Your horse has tried the best it could. Why the hell would you have someone beat their horse? It's not funny and cool. It's pretty fucked up to have that in a game on Roblox. For Fishing Simulator, I don't think the quest is possible. Like, I joined and the quest just didn't work, so I ended up server hopping, and the initial quest from the mayor worked. But then the next quest had no directives at all, so I just had to guess what I should do, and I somehow got it correct. So I got to the part where I needed to stab fish, but like there were no fish. I decided not to server hop anymore and just abandon the game. So for Boxing League, a lot of times I play Roblox to, feel like a kid again. What I did not ask for was to be excluded from things and have people just not give a shit about me and pretend like I don't exist and that I don't matter. Which is what happened a lot as a kid. Like, I wanted to feel included and, like, punch and, join in people's parties, but instead people just, like, they didn't, I guess they were probably in a VC or something and it was 3 people, and instead of telling me that they didn't want me to play, they would just have me join, and then the person on my team would go AFK and the other 2 people would beat the shit out of me and then beat the other person up and then win. It was really fucked up, and when I asked, like, why the hell, because it happened twice, and I was like, why are you doing this? And they were just like, oh, like, we don't want you, like, they literally said, like, we don't want to play with you, and it's like, fuck you. And I almost quit, like, I didn't want, like, that was just horrible, that was not a good time. Something else I just also want to add is, like, when you're punching, the whole screen, like, pulsates. But, like, I want to get sick, but, like, what the hell? What is wrong with this game? So yeah, I am not playing that game ever again. For NBC or Die, it's another game that has, like, a really bad community, at least in the servers I was in. Like, I wish the quests were actually fun and able to be completed in a shorter time without the RNG of just waiting to be a sheriff. And also people just didn't want to help me be better at the game, even though I'd ask, like, a lot of questions, because I'm like, yeah, this is genuinely interesting, like, how are you knowing that I'm, like, not an NPC? And they'd just be like, well, actually, and, like, they'd have this big ego, and it was like, okay. Also, sometimes the servers were just dead, like, they just wouldn't say anything, and, like, I would ask them questions, and they'd just all go, like, we're not gonna say a word, which, maybe they were all console players, but I doubt it. But I would play the game with friends, like, it seems funny. It seems like a fun game. Hockey Legends and Basketball Legends were made by the same people. And I've actually played Basketball Legends a lot with a friend of mine, and this game has a lot of chill people, and a lot of shitty people. That being said, I had no idea about Hockey Legends and how chill of a group they are, at least the server I played in. I mean, they're probably all Canadian, though, so that makes sense. But yeah, I might play it after the event, and you might get a video of me playing that one, because that was pretty ironic, or not ironic, iconic. For the Untitled Boxing game, it's very obviously no frills, but the story mode and the effort put into the event is actually really good. The animations are actually really impressive too. Did I use an auto clicker? Yes. Is it a game I would probably play? No. Did I have to play against other players? Also no. Was it a good, valiant effort to be in the event? Does it deserve to be in more events? Yeah. Yeah. Good old Untitled Boxing game. 10 out of 10. And I'm sure that game isn't super popular, and the fact that they were chosen as putting a smaller game on the map like that, it's pretty good. So for I'll Be But You're on a Bike, can we please stop putting this game into events? It's never fun. The physics are just bad. The quests are impossible at the time. I don't know. I've never seen anyone go, yeah, I really like Avi, but you're on a bike. Like, I've never seen anyone say that. Volleyball Simulator. Other than the less than wonderful community I encountered, the controls you could see one time and then never again. I also just didn't understand the game or the controls, and having to go against sweats was just frustrating. I didn't even have, like, a chance to, like, learn anything because it just didn't want to exist. And I mean, the game also broke sometimes. Like, I tried to serve a ball once, and I knew how to serve a ball. I had just done it, and it was just like, no, you're not serving a ball. And then I got in trouble or whatever. One thing that's a positive about the game, though, that I think is creative is that you could switch the maps and get you to different shines. And there were Easter eggs and stuff that came with it. That's like the one positive. Obviously, dressed to impress, I have a lot of videos queued to edit right now. I just had to focus on this event, obviously. But, like, they delivered, and a lot of new items came out as well. They timed the big update with the event, which is cool. So let's talk about the prizes. So each team had one shirt from the launcher, and I'm gonna be so honest, I do not remember who gave me each one, so I'm just gonna slap that in the video so y'all can know who gave me each shirt. You know, see what they're doing. I don't know. I guess it's cool to shout them out even though I only have like not very many subscribers. So there's also like something I think I need to also share is that people do not like the 3D clothing. A lot of people don't. Some people do. Some people are chill with it. Some people do not like it. And either way, it's fine, you know. You gotta do what you gotta do. So let's talk about the prizes. So the event had its strengths, such as encouraging teamwork, offering fun challenges, and improving the ability to gain items compared to last events. So you don't have to just spend your entire soul-sucking life on the event if you don't want to. The boss battle, featuring 1x1x1x1, was a highlight, though its connection to the event's theme is very unclear. However, the event did have significant drawbacks. The team selection felt very unbalanced, with Craft's team having an obvious advantage due to his popularity. The games themselves were a very mixed bag. While some were enjoyable and well-designed, others suffered from imbalanced gameplay, frustrating RNG mechanics, and toxic communities. Additionally, several games were plagued by glitches and broken mechanics, making participation difficult. Despite these issues, the event introduced some fun games and gave players a chance to explore new experiences. However, the frustration caused by certain design choices and community behavior dampened the overall experience. Would I say this event was fun? Yeah. I think most of my friends had like some kind of mental breakdown during it, so not really. Yeah, this was the event video. I don't know, I don't really have much of an outro. As usually, if I don't know what to say, so I just kind of plug up the music. Just kind of go, yeah, at the end of the video, woo! But, yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Please like, you should comment some opinion you have about the event, or don't. That's also fine. You could comment beans if you want to. That's something you could do. And remember to drink water.